I'm emotional, Jack. It's the final qualifying of 2022. Can you believe it? Our 10th and final one together. This time coming from the Pertamina Mandalika Circuit on Lombok Island in Indonesia. One of the most picturesque circuits on the MotoGP calendar, of course. Made its debut this year. I was out there for the test, and then again 4 weeks later for round 2 of the 2022 MotoGP World Championship, which feels like a lifetime ago now. Can't believe we were there for the test back in February. Wow. And now here we are in November. A lot has happened since then. Oh, and that's an interesting tactic for these guys. You see, it might be brand new to the calendar, but they already know the tips and tricks of how to make sure they can get round to start a lap as soon as possible. Just absolutely hold the throttle open through the gravel trap, over the grass banks, over a bit of dirt, bit of a bunny hop. Class. Just completely take out the opening set.
Literally, some proper MXGP inspiration that was, wasn't it? Fully sending it over the tabletops there on the side. So very good then. It won't be long before they get round to start a lap if they're doing that all around the track. So bear with us just a few seconds and we'll be flying on for our first timed laps of this qualifying session. Of course, qualifying session for the finale, the final race of the year, and it does all come down to this. It's going to be an interesting one. If you haven't seen the qualifying results of race 9, the first race of the finale tomorrow, then make sure you go and watch that video, maybe after this one, because it doesn't really matter which order you watch them in. So first man onto a lap then. It does look like it's going to be Jack Hammer, the Brit. Of course, Jack Hammer this year, maybe qualifying hasn't been his strength, but we've seen so many times in races that he comes flying through in the late laps of those races. Kind of as soon as we get to lap 6, it seems all of a sudden there's an orange bike flying around and picking off people left, right and centre. So we'll see what Jack can do here if he does manage to pick himself up a nice qualifying position for once. But actually ahead of him is Adrian, the man that leads the championship coming into the finale. Very good performance from him in the first qualifying for the finale. Make sure you go watch it to see what he did. Pulled off a bit of a miracle in the final split in Argentina. And you have to say, actually, the final splits, or at least the final 2 corners of Argentina and Indonesia are quite similar.
Very similar, yeah. It's almost like the Spider-Man meme of the pair looking at each other. It's almost as if the designer of Indonesia said, "Can I borrow your homework?" To
just make it a little bit different.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's not done that much of a job to make it different. It's the same sort of feeling.
Don't make it obvious.
But it is pretty obvious. I mean, the run out of the penultimate corner is a little bit more, it's more of a right angle left than we see in Argentina.
Yeah.
There are subtle differences, but very much got a similar feel. I think in Argentina, almost impossible to send it up the inside of someone into the final corner, but with a little bit more room up to that final corner here in Mandalika, it is possible. I think we, from memory, did see a couple of people manage to just get the run and the jump and fire it through under the inside of someone into that last corner.
Yeah. Definitely, there was a few manoeuvres going in there. I seem to remember as well one from last year when World Superbike went there for the first ever race. I think Toprak dived underneath someone there.
Of course he did.
Yeah, Toprak loves a manoeuvre, doesn't he? A little bit of a dive bomb. Love it. So, first lap's on the board then. Let's just take you through the housekeeping for now. Andrea Severi is the man that leads the way with a 1:25.790. Trastevere looking to make amends for his qualifying in the first race of this evening. Make sure you go and watch up to find out where he is qualified for race 9 of 10 of the Global Series. And Piero Ricciuti 3rd, Christian 4th. Vindex once again getting up there, good man. And Jack Hammer as well, just hanging on to that second row spot there in 6th.
Yep, these lads definitely not adhering to track limits on their out laps. Not only the grass tracking, but also just cutting every chicane imaginable as well.
Full send, isn't it?
I like the style. Into pit lane then for Adrian. 8th after, oh sorry, not 8th, not set a lap time yet.
And he's
has
not going
the
to live it
Repsol
out.
Honda man. So remember what we saw, in fact no, I won't give it away, but we have seen previous examples with potentially something happening in Argentinian qualifying, where if you don't set a lap straight away, can...
Makes it difficult.
Yeah, it does make it difficult. Spadalongo, however, is... Tati Go is facing a similar predicament at the moment, unless he can get these final 2 corners right. Out of the penultimate one, we zoom in on the number 46. I wonder why he's chosen that.
Yeah, nice number to choose. And
wow.
front row for the home hero, of course.
And the crowd goes wild. I can hear them
Fantastic.
cheering. I can hear them cheering in Puta Lombok town centre, jumping up and down.
Not bad at all, though.
There's
from Tati Go.
Bing-tang flying everywhere.
That would be his... Oh, wow, I've almost taken my headset off. That would be his best qualifying performance of the season by some way if he does manage to hold on to a front row. And
I thought you were going to say his drink of choice, because it certainly was mine when we were out there.
Yep, you do love a beer. Was it nice?
Oh, like, seriously.
Yeah?
Very nice,
You can get some imported next time.
Potentially I'll try to. I'm looking forward to us going back. Unfortunately, with the calendar next year, we're going to have to wait, well, nearly another 12 months from here. It will be pretty much 18 months since we were last there by the time we go back in 2023, which is a shame. Did enjoy the nasi goreng and the bintang when we were out there in Indonesia. Looking forward to going back again. Lovely, lovely island. Hopefully a few days off beforehand to be able to properly explore it. Meanwhile, halfway through this one then, and it's Suzuki's Severi that leads the way, only just though, from Trast. Tati Go, performance of the day by country mile in 3rd. Chuti, Christian and Vindex 4th, 5th and 6th. Jack Hammer 7th, David Eagle in your 8th, yet to set a lap time. Spadalongo missed the TFTW, and importantly, the World Championship leader, Adrian.
Yeah, he's going to need this one then, Adrian, of course. We know that he's got no problem at all putting in a fast lap, but Indonesia is a little bit of a tricky one, and we have no track record here either, as we said at the top of this qualifying session. It's the first time we've been here in the MotoGP eSport Global Series, so we're not too sure what the form book is. We don't know who's going to be good, who's going to be bad, but we'll soon find out indeed, as it looks as though Piero Ricciuti's going to be quite good at the minute, with 2 red splits next to his name as he comes down on... Adrian's gone down going into the penultimate corner. It's a very tricky one. You can see here Ricciuti on the full lean angle and brakes at the same time. It's always a very tricky one indeed, and that is the result there. If you pull the brakes a little bit too hard, you just took the front going into it. So Ricciuti then on the Ducati, fires it out the final corner, comes across the line. Where does he go? 3rd for now, just under a 10th off top man Andrea Severi on the Suzuki. So that seems to be quite a good lap from Andrea. Having a little bit of trouble beating it, although Vindex ain't too far off here. Where is he? He's coming across the line now. He goes 6th, about 3.5 tenths off. So certainly, again, Vindex showing solid qualifying performance. It's a good man.
Tati Go still holding on to 5th, less than 3 tenths away. No, we've spoken about it a bit already, but some lap that from the Indonesian.
Very
of course, a rookie this year, saving his best till last on home soil as well. Good work, very good work from the Grassini racing man. Hopefully we'll see him back in 2023. Big lap this then for Adrian. Well,
the next lap.
one, yeah, out lap of course. At the moment, given the fact he just picked it up and straight lined it.
Yeah, pressure's on then, isn't it, really, for Adrian? If he starts down in 10th, that would be a disaster for the final race of the series. If it does all go down to that final race, yeah, you're not going to be wanting to start from there. He's going to need one hell of a start if he is launching off from the 4th row of the grid. But we'll see what he can do anyway. His brother Christian is cooking up something for now. Coming into the final 2 corners, gets it pulled down nicely there. Misses the apex just a fraction, but it was fine. Not bad at all. Gets that LCR Honda wound up coming out the corner. Can he improve from 7th? He does, but just only 1 place, so he barges Vindex off that 2nd row and steals it there. 0.333 behind the Suzuki man at top.
And with nearly 5 minutes left, the World Championship leader 10th at the moment. What a
time.
It is. What a disaster that would be. I don't think we can say it's championship over from if he was to start from 10th, but wow, it would be really giving himself a huge mountain to climb. in the final round of the year, regardless of what he's able to do in the opening race of the evening in Mandalika.
Yeah, going to be a tricky one indeed. Tatigo here, what's he done so far? He was actually red through the second split. Now, that would have been a turn up for the books. Lost it in the third split, but we shall see what he can do. Oh, we just got away from that. And he's gone down. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. Adrian, this one isn't going to happen either. So he's now going to go into the final 4 minutes without a single lap time on the board. Adrian, this is looking a little bit shaky, mate.
It is. This is the sort of occasion where champions have to show their mettle and show what they're really about. He's up against it here. Big time is Adrian. If he wants to reclaim that crown, then this, you would have to say, is a decisive moment, a pivotal moment in that quest to win a second MotoGP eSport championship.
And it's an interesting observation to make as well, because if Severi takes pole here, he is third in the standings as we are heading into the grand finale. We know that Trastaveri had not a very good qualifying. I won't spoil exactly where he is, but it wasn't a very good qualifying for Argentina. If Adrian's going to have a disaster here, because now he is on a valid lap, finally, if Adrian does have a disaster here, I mean, Andrea Severi is looking prime runner to quite possibly steal this one in the final round. Although here we go, look at this. Red sectors lighting up everywhere, not just Andrea Severi himself, but also Piero Ricciuti and Jack Hammer, and now Adrian. So Andrea Severi extends his advantage to just over a tenth at the top. We're going to have Jack Hammer coming across the line next. We do cut to him now on the Red Bull KTM factory racing machine, firing out the final corner. What can he do? He goes fourth. So, good lap time indeed. Oh, no, actually, what happened?
Stays fourth.
Stays fourth,
I thought track limits, I think. Was it?
Yeah.
Was he potentially exceeded track limits?
Possibly out the final corner. Might have fluffed it right at the death there. Piero Ricciuti, he'll be looking not to fluff it right at the death. 3 red splits for the Ducati, man. Oh, and Adrian's pulling in.
Well, is that?
We'll see. He's still got 2.5 minutes left, but yeah,
what
it's going to be one lap to do it all, isn't it?
Oh, Ricciuti, track limits. Track limits again.
Some rare mistakes here.
A lot of them getting caught out on the run out of that final corner. You can see the curb just fades away from them, and I think a few of them are getting caught out, similar to, I'm trying to think of an example, like we see at Massano, the final corner there, the curb just cuts off, and we see a lot of people getting caught out on the green in those circumstances, and it looks as though a few are getting caught out here as well. So, quite remarkably, 2 minutes left, and Adrian, the championship leader, is yet to set a lap time. An outlap is going to be, well, fortunately for him, less than 1:25, given the amount of the track that they're cutting. Probably around, what, a minute? Something, maybe? So he will get round now, but he's going to get one go at this. And given how easy it is to exceed track limits with the amount of red exclamation marks we see popping up, this is the biggest pressure you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, this is one lap to essentially save Adrian's title challenge, because coming from 10th, it would be very, very difficult if it does go down to that final race. But nevertheless, we'll see what happens now. With 1 minute 20 on the clock, he is entering into the final little complex, and very, very shortly indeed he'll fly on to what he does hope is a valid lap. Finally, and Mr. T also doesn't have a valid lap at the moment either, and he's in the pit, so I think that is probably him done. So Mr. T looks like won't set a lap in this final qualifying session for the 2022 Global Series. And so far, there's not much going on. Trastaveri here just building for his final assault on the top as well.
Ricciuti, red in the first sector. Here we go. Is this the start of our fireworks in the final minute here in Mandalika? Christian on an improving lap. Adrian, of course, on a improving lap because he's not set one, but importantly that sector time orange rather than red, so it doesn't look like he's going to be challenging for pole position here. It's faded for Ricciuti. Spadalongo looking to improve as well. He's going to need to find around 0.4 of a second to be able to jump ahead of Davide Galligna.
So
Trast is grey. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to challenge Severi for pole position. Looks as though Ricciuti's going to be our first man across the line. Can the Ducati rider jump up to pole? Oh, Trast red, second sector. No, track limits for Ricciuti. Game over. He will be third at best. Crashed out, actually, as you can see there with the graphic. Here's the Italian, Trastevere. Red at the halfway point of this lap. Can he challenge Severi for pole position? It looks like he can. Needs to find 0.102 of a second as Adrian comes across the line, posts a lap time, but only good enough for 7th. It's going to be the third row at best for the World Championship leader. Here comes Trast. Can he really rub salt in the wounds of his title rival here? Trast comes across the line. Will it be pole position? No, it won't. 31 1,000ths of a second adrift of Severi. So looks as though, unless Jackhammer here can produce something remarkable in the final sector, it's going to be Severi to take pole. And with it, of course, let's not forget the Tissot Pole of Pole Awards. Yeah. Here comes Jackhammer. Can he deny him that? The KTM man, the RC16, screaming as it normally does, comes across the line.
I think he stayed 4th, but we'll have it confirmed very, very shortly indeed.
He does stay 4th, improved but only just, meaning that pole position does go the way of Suzuki's Andrea Severi. He will line up on that front row of the grid with Trast and Piero Ricciuti, with row 2, Jackhammer, Christian, and a remarkable performance. Well done, round of applause, standing ovation in the commentary box for Tatigo. Brilliant stuff from the home hero. Adrian, though, disaster for him. 7th, third row for the World Championship leader, with Vindex 8th, Davide Galligna 9th, Spadalongo 10th, and Mr. T in 11th.